Hello everyone, and welcome to today's tutorial. Today I will be running through how I did a web scraper. So this took me about 1 week to program, and it basically trawls the web and gets information from various web pages that fulfills your criteria. So before we begin, there are two things you need to do if you want to use this web scraper for yourselves. Yes, I'm going to open source this so you can just use this. So first you need to register for an OpenAI key. So as you can see in this website, you can just create your own key and then you'll be charged for every ChatGPT API call. All right, so I've done some math. If you do about 200 sites, it's about $1. So that's not too bad at all, if you need to scrape the web at a massive scale. All right, and then you need to use this Custom JSON API. And if you click here, it goes here. This is basically using Google Search Engine. Okay, you can get a programmable search engine. You can create your own engine and you'll get a CX, which is like the engine number. Then you also can get like an API key. Okay, so this tool over here, you can go this website to configure. And once you get everything, you just put it in here. So like your OpenAI key will be here. Your custom JSON API key will be here, as well as the Google Programmable Search Engine. So all these are important, okay? Because I've tried out other things like SERP API and the results aren't that great. So I decided to just use the Google search engine directly. All right, so how does this work? Okay, we actually use ChatGPT to do very flexible processing. Okay, we actually use some prompts to engineer the behavior of ChatGPT and ask it to do some filtering, some data extraction, and so on. All right, and the output of this ChatGPT will be in JSON format. And this uses the strict JSON framework, which I created. That basically takes in like some system message, some user prompt, and then you can output in a certain like JSON format like that. You can put the label as well as your description over here. I find this much more flexible than OpenAI functions, so I created this. Do check it out. So how does this work overall? First, we find the list of primary sources using Google search. Then we find the list of secondary sources, which are websites that are linked from the main site. Okay, we scrape the AH reference tag because that's usually where the web links are put. And then we ask ChatGPT to filter them up to a certain number of URLs. Later in the demonstration, I'll be filtering up to 3 URLs. Okay, we don't want to do too many. If not, if one site has 1,000 URLs, you might end up using all your compute on that on that single site plus the secondary URLs, which severely limits the diversity of your search results. Okay, then we basically extract the information from each site because ChatGPT has only 8,000 tokens overall. So we need to split the website such that it can fit in the context lengths. And in this case, we use max tokens, which is a length of about 3,000. Okay, so that because we will do this iterative kind of prompting, which will need some more tokens. So we put 3,000 tokens and then we have some other tokens for the prompting and the iteration of the earlier results. Okay, these chunks have an overlap of 100 tokens just in case you miss certain things. Okay, and then we do only maximum of 4 chunks per website. Of course, you can do more if you want, but based on my experience of running this, the main information is only from the starting of the website most of the time. Okay, then we'll combine information. If we accidentally scrape the same site, something related, we combine the information using ChatGPT. We ask ChatGPT to rank the relevance, and then we output the script sites and their information in an Excel file. So without further ado, let's start. So to do this, you need to run all these packages. You need to install like PicToken, LangChain, Selenium, OpenAI. Yeah. So just go ahead and do that using pip install that package. All right, let's just run this. So my key is inside here. So I'm just going to run. Okay, and you can see over here, there's like unit tests, timeout, max tokens, no info. Actually, unit test, there's no unit test, so we can just take it out. Okay, so timeout is because when we use Selenium web browser, sometimes you want to let some JavaScript elements load out. So if we just merely use a HTML parser, we may not be able to get this kind of elements. So by setting a timeout of about 2 seconds, we enable some things to load before we extract the HTML, all right? So no info is when we don't have that particular info. This is the no info default message. Okay, and this is the max tokens that we extract per website chunk. In the future, when ChatGPT increases their token context length, we can increase this max token as well. All right, so this is the query. Today I will be querying the large language model clauses. All right, so we want to find out what is good for large language models. So I will search for secondary URLs that contain the word clause. Okay, if you want to not put any specific keyword, you want to take out all the secondary URLs, you just give a null character like that. Yeah, but that's a lot, so I'm just going to limit it to clause. Of course, this will be tuned to your specific use case. You know, you can even ask ChatGPT to output what URLs it thinks it should have. Okay, yeah, what elements of what word in the URL it thinks it should have. You can ask it as well. Unwanted URLs is like if you know that specifically like jobs is not one of the things you're searching for, you can type jobs here, and then it will restrict the secondary URLs to not contain these keywords. Okay, max URL per site is the number of secondary URLs to extract, and here we put as 3. Num Google queries we put 1, which means that this large language model clauses we only search it one time. If you put the Google queries more, you will search with multiple diverse angles. Later I'll show you this. 20 is when you set it to true. For each search term in the Google result, it will return you 20 search results. Okay, but here we only do 10, right? Because I think 10 is sufficient. But if you want more, you can do the first 20. Okay, here's the output format. You can just put whatever you want to extract, the label, as well as the description. So both the label and the description are important to convey semantic meaning to ChatGPT. All right. And you can basically type in free text, anything you want, and ChatGPT will try to match. All right. So this is part of the strict JSON framework. You can even put in this angle brackets. Angle brackets means GPT will fill in to the best of its information. So it's like a placeholder. So it's pretty cool. So it's online, you try to get like the website URL. All right. Physical, you try to get the location, physical location. All right. So let's try to run this. Okay, first we set up a Selenium browser, and here we use a headless browser, so you don't keep seeing the website refresh. I mean, don't put this in, you can see the continuous refreshing. All right, let's start the driver. So you will need to install like Firefox for this because I use Mozilla. You can also use Google if you want. Yeah, you can change this accordingly. Strict JSON framework. This is the code that basically just uses some prompt, all right, to tell GPT how to pass it into JSON format. I'm just going to run this. For more details, please refer to my strict JSON framework video. All right, so next we have extract unique URLs. So this means that we want to extract the secondary URLs, and it basically selects anything with the AH reference, okay, and it removes unwanted URL keywords, and it makes sure that all the URLs have the certain keyword you want. Okay, there's another function called get root URL is to just get the first, like if you have www.coursera.org/something, you can put everything out and only have coursera.org. Okay, this is useful if you want to like scrape company names and then you want to only have the root name for the company. Okay, but for this demo, I did not use the get root URL because like for courses, we do not want to just go to coursera.org. We want to do coursera.org/something. Okay, so this one is view URL. Is basically the main crux of how we view web pages. We use a function called space text to return stuff in style, script, head, title, meta, and document, and basically separate them by a space. So the driver will wait 2 seconds. Okay, use beautiful soup to pass. All right, then after that, we also get some metadata. Like I realized sometimes the metadata is important, especially when it contains some stuff like pictures. Sometimes the metadata describes the pictures. So I put in the metadata. All right, then we also put in the website content over here, the main text. All right, and then we basically just pass this into text form and let GPT do the magic. All right, so a unit test is to check like what are the secondary URLs for deep learning.ai. So if you want more, course, there's nothing with course for secondary URL, but if you want more, you can have this Cloudflare. So that's why we condition with the text here. Okay, with the keywords here, so we only extract out secondary URLs that are relevant for our purposes. So you can see this, the get root URL, it returns the root over here. All right, so this is to like open the website and see whether the Selenium WebDriver is working. So you can see that, yes, it prints out like the first 500, like these are the metadata stuff. You can print out more for this website. Okay, but in the interest of space, I only print out the first 500. Okay, now this is the crux of the program. All right, this asks ChatGPT to design web queries, okay, and give the number of web queries we want, suitable queries to extract information of what user wants. So we give it what's the query and what the user wants. Okay, so if we give query of 1, the search term it will give to Google is called large language model causes. Okay, now I'm just going to like increase these queries to 3 to just show you how it works. If I give 3 queries, it will give large language model courses online, large language model training courses, best courses for large language models. So you can see it's totally automatic. And yeah, for the interest of our demo today, I'm just going to do 1 search term. If not, it might take a while. All right. So next, we will use the Custom Search API, and we will find out, okay, what are the relevant websites for that search term. So this is for the first 10, and this for the next 10 if you are setting 20 to be true. Okay, and you can see that this is where your API key comes in and your search engine comes in and your search term comes in here. Let's run this, okay, and they will run the Google. I mean, just to show you what returns in this, we can see the data list. So for each URL, you can get the URL itself. Okay, you can get what are the like you do have like some snippets that you can get, like here, learn how to build and productionize large language models. So you can get all this and the link over here. So we only interested in like the link, the title. Okay, that's the main stuff that we're interested in, and that is what we do in this part here. So we will now take the Google results. Okay, get the title, the snippet, the URL. Okay, and actually we don't use the snippet for this. We only use title and URL. Yeah, I mean, in the future we can use snippet to like rank relevance as well. Okay, so we use the title and the URL. We basically go to the first website, right? And we extract out the secondary websites here. Okay, and then we populate the entire list of websites with all our main and the secondary websites. So you can see over here, this is the main and these are the secondary, main, secondary, and so on. Yeah, so you can see these are the main and these are the secondary. So all this we'll store in the URL dig with the index as this new URL, which is actually the the title will be based on the primary website. Okay, that's what this does. All right, so we have a new list of URLs here. We can see originally we have 9 URLs, and then after that, with our secondary sources, we have 115 URLs. Wow, that's a lot. Okay, so we have 9 instead of 10, probably because one of the websites failed to load. All right, so yeah, I'm not sure which one didn't load, but okay, let's just carry on. All right, so the filter part will be basically to filter the number of secondary websites. So let us just take this URL dig. So just to show you what the URL dig is a list of the website and the title. And you know, for the secondary websites, the title will be the main website, of course, as what I said earlier. You can actually have the title for the secondary website to be the secondary website's title as well. But I found that loading 100 over web pages for secondary with a 2-second delay for each kind of is overkill. Yeah, so we just use the primary website for this. Okay, so let us do the next part, which is the filtering. You are to filter the URLs to match the query. Okay, and you return only max URL per site. So amazing. I didn't even do any rule-based thing. I just merely prompted it. So max 3. Let's see whether it max 3. 1. Okay, so the original list, as long as it's more than 3, you will return a curated list of at most 3. 1, 2, 3. So it's pretty amazing. ChatGPT kind of understands. Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Okay. So you can see I kind of process it. Like I say, URL list in a string separated by a space. You can also do a list if you want without the space, but I find that with a space is more reliable, that you can just split by space. All right, let's see how many we have now. So now we have 21 websites to search. Okay, so we can see that we add back the original URLs in case we accidentally prune them off. All right, original URLs means like the main URLs. So we can see the list of important URLs now. Not bad. See, Coursera, Google Cloud. There are some stuff that may not be exactly large language model related, like this Google Cloud thing. So let's see whether, but we have some good ones like this deep learning.ai, large language model semantic search. I just did this course yesterday. It's about cohere embeddings. Personally, I feel that the LangChain with OpenAI embeddings might be better. So yeah, but this is a new course. So it's not bad that we have all this coming out, generative AI with LLMs. Yeah, sounds promising. So let's start our Selenium driver to pass through all these websites. So let's go. So we'll pass through one by one each website. Okay, let's take a look as it runs through how this is done. So you can see that it extracts out the course name, the course website, the broad course description. Okay, the cost, wow, 178.20. Okay, 3 months, 4 to 8, 9 hours per week, and it's online. All right. So yeah, it looks like it's extracting out stuff that are useful. So like here's the cloud skill boost introduction to large language model. So this one, yeah, looks like it's relevant here. Okay, so we just let this load a while. All right, it needs to do for another like 16 or so websites. So like one website, it takes about 2 seconds to load, and maybe you give about 1 second inference for ChatGPT. Sometimes you need to split the website into 4 chunks, so that's like 3 seconds each, right? It's about 12 seconds. So doing this 20 might take about a minute. Let us just go through the next parts of the code together, okay, while it's loading. So like over here, we have the final content. And what this final content does is that if, let's say, there's more than one website, okay, with the base index here, this is the course website. Okay, so if there's more than one thing up here, there's the same course website. Okay, that is maybe because like they're from a secondary source, but their course website is the same. Then we can combine them. Okay, just take note over here, I kind of replace get root URL, okay, to just the root URL here. Okay, because as what I said earlier, for courses, we may not want to just get the root like Coursera.org. We want to get the specific course itself. Okay, but if you're like going to scrape like what are the different companies doing certain areas, you know, this root URL here, you want to get the base company URL, or like the base, like if you're doing schools, you want to get the base school URL, you know, so you will use get URL to indent as your index for the content. Okay, so you can put this instead of this, just to let you know. Okay, but for today, we will just use this root URL. Okay, so yeah, I'm at 13 already. So this final content will basically merge similar like course websites together. And again, we use the GPT prompt. You are a helpful assistant meant to combine 2 sources of information together factually. If you are not sure, output no info. So this is quite important. You realize that in the earlier one here, I also said output no info. Okay, this is quite a useful prompt, because if you don't put this prompt, it might give you hallucinated responses. If you put in this prompt, it reduces the hallucination by a lot. So most of the stuff, I've tested it over various domains, is pretty accurate. Okay, so you can see like all this stuff here, you can be assured that like 99% is correct, it's accurate. Okay, because if it's not sure, it will just put no info rather than just guessing. Okay, so this is the merging of the content together. Looks like we have everything already. Okay, the last one is the large language models with semantic search. Oh, 1 hour. Yeah, actually, I also took about 1 hour for this. But I find that the deep learning short courses, they put 1 hour, but if you want to play around with it, sometimes you need like 5 hours. Yeah. So, okay, so there's no overlap in the course website, so we don't have to do this here. So let's move on. Okay, so we have this final content right now. Just to show you how final content looks like. Actually, it should look like exactly the same as the content, because we did not merge anything. So each website here, the index of this dictionary will be the course website, and the value will be the JSON containing whatever you wanted, like the course name, course website, broad course description, course, time, venue, company, as well as this thing called info sources. Okay, this is an extra stuff that I added here. Why? Okay, so that later on when we do the spreadsheet, you can go and view which are the websites, okay, that have been extracted from. So this will be useful for you. All right, so you can do the fact check. All right, so let's do the curated content. So over here is basically to rank the retrieved responses to see whether is it relevant to the query. So let's rank this. So GPT will give, GPT I find is quite good for classification. So you can rank like either 3, 2, 1, or 0. So over here, Google Cloud is given a relevance of 0. I mean, indirectly, you might need Google Cloud to deploy your large language model, but it isn't exactly learning about large language models, so I can buy that. Yeah, 3 is like top 3 courses on large language models. Yeah, not bad. The Hugging Face course, number 2. Okay, because it's mainly NLP rather than large language models. This understanding large language models actually should be a 3. Okay, so this is not exactly the most accurate, but that is around there, 2 or 3, you know. But what's this? Generative AI with LLM. So over here, you can see that it's given a relevance of 1, all right, although it should be given like higher. So this highlights some limitations with ChatGPT. Surprisingly, it does not know that large language models is the same as LLMs. All right, so perhaps if you want to modify your query, you can say courses on LLMs, bracket large language models, so that the GPT would know that LLM is a large language model as well. So I'm not going to change the prompt here. I'm just going to show you how this classification is. Yeah, it's not too bad. It got the classification mainly right. This is basically just to rank them. Okay, in the end, you will see all of the clauses. Okay, I contemplated like removing all the zeros. Okay, but just to make sure that you know the classification is not inaccurate, we put the zeros there just in case. So we can see over here, this is the code to get the spreadsheet out. Okay, but you can also see the spreadsheet using a data frame, and you can see these are the clauses like edX, Amazon. So initially we had 10 from Google. Okay, and right now we have like a total of, let's see how much do we have. We have 18. So the secondary URLs help us source for another 8 more clauses. Interesting. So most of this looks good. So let's just take a look at one of the clauses that you know you might want to go into. Like most of them are free, most of them are online. All right. So that this Coursera here, they did not have whether it's free or not, because this is the main site. This is not exactly a course website itself. Yeah. So you can see like, okay, let's see. This is edX 178.20. Let's take a look. Why is it 178.20? Because I'm interested to find out why too. So let's take a look. And you can see that, is it $178? Okay. Oh yes, it's 178. Wow, that's expensive. Okay. So edX can be expensive. But the rest of this, like Google Cloud Skills, boost to large language models. Yeah, not too bad. You get a completion badge as well. You take about 45 minutes to complete, and that's exactly like what's over here. And Quick Labs is the one that they use to host their Jupyter notebooks. Yeah, this is quite accurate. So we kind of do have quite a nice selection here, which I will put this also on the on my tutorials drive, so you can take a look at what courses you can take. This template CS324. Let's just take a look and see whether or not is it correct. This is about large language models. Let's take a look. And yes, not bad. Yeah, this is quite a recent course on large language models, Winter 2022. Yep. Is it free online? Yeah, you can actually get this lecture notes here. Interesting. Hey, personally, I recommend like most of the deep learning.ai courses. All right, especially nowadays, they have these short courses are quite good for large language models. Stanford courses are not bad as well. Okay, although they can be quite technical. All right, Coursera has quite a good selection of courses too. You can check that out. Okay, of course, Google Cloud has now started a lot of even AWS also has as a course. Google Cloud has started quite a few like cloud skills. Okay, that this is about language models, right? Yeah. So you can also try all these courses. Okay, and I feel like there's a whole lot of courses right now, and you should just basically take only those that like I think are more reputable. So like these big companies like Google Cloud, maybe it's okay, but that one is more geared to their product. So you can try Coursera. Yeah. You can try even Hugging Face. I like Hugging Face a lot because Hugging Face is like more or less open source for most of it. And yeah, that's about it. At the end of it, just quit the driver so that you don't waste like extra space in your computer running another browser. All right, and with that, that's more or less the end of today's tutorial about the web scraper. Do let me know if you like it, okay, because this is basically done over a week. Yeah, I wanted to scrape the web for some stuff. And so that's how I did it. And yeah, hope you enjoy. All right, and I'll see you around. Okay, bye.